He promised himself this would be the last time. The last late-night binge standing in front of the refrigerator, telling himself tomorrow would be different. The last missed workout because work had been too exhausting. The last morning he would wake up heavy with regret and scroll through videos of disciplined people who seemed to live in another universe. And maybe you have made the same promise. Maybe you have whispered, "This is it," only to watch the pattern quietly return by day 3. Have you noticed how you can be responsible at work, loving at home, intelligent in conversation, and still unable to keep one small promise to yourself? How motivation feels powerful on Monday, reasonable on Tuesday, negotiable on Wednesday, and gone by Thursday? It is not because you are weak, it is because you were taught to change the wrong way. Most advice tells you to go bigger, more discipline, more sacrifice, more pressure. But there is a Japanese system that works differently. It does not ask you to transform your entire life in one dramatic decision. It does not depend on bursts of emotion. It builds identity from the smallest repeatable action. So small that your mind does not resist it. So simple that you cannot hide from it. Many motivational voices would call it too slow, too gentle, too ordinary. But what if slow is the point? What if the goal is not to feel inspired, but to become reliable? Tonight, we follow one ordinary man who believed discipline meant force. He believed change required intensity. He believed he had to conquer himself. Instead, he learned something far quieter. He learned that inner war is not won through aggression. It is won through small agreements kept daily. And as you listen to his story, you may begin to see parts of your own. Because the pattern is not rare, it is human. The real question is not whether you have failed before. The question is whether you are ready to try a different method. Not louder, not harder, just smaller. Sometimes the smallest shift in perspective changes everything that follows. Before we go any further, take a quiet moment to decide what kind of change you actually want. If you are tired of dramatic resets and short-lived motivation, subscribe to this channel for stories and systems built on calm, permanent growth. Like this video as a small signal to yourself that you are ready for a steadier path. And in the comments, write one small habit you are willing to practice for the next 3 days. Not something impressive, not something extreme, just one action you can repeat without debate. 5 minutes of walking, 1 glass of water before bed, 1 page of reading. Keep it simple. 1 action, 1 promise. Let this be your first quiet agreement. Kenji Sato is 38 years old. He lives in a small apartment in Osaka with his wife and his 8-year-old daughter, Hana. He works in a logistics office where his days are measured in spreadsheets, delivery routes, and small problems that never stop appearing. He is good at his job, reliable, calm, the kind of man people describe as steady. But evenings tell a different story. After dinner, when the dishes are done and Hana is finishing her homework, Kenji feels a heaviness settle in. It is not dramatic, it is familiar. He opens a beer, then another, and he tells himself it helps him unwind. He stands in front of the refrigerator longer than he needs to. He eats not because he is hungry, but because the day feels unfinished. You may recognize this pattern. Food as relief, alcohol as reward, screens as escape. It does not feel destructive. It feels deserved. Kenji has tried to change before. New Year's gym memberships, strict meal plans, early alarms. Each attempt begins with intensity. He buys new shoes. He downloads tracking apps. For 3 days, sometimes 5, he feels disciplined. Then work becomes overwhelming. A shipment gets delayed. A client complains. He stays late. He skips 1 workout, then 2. The plan collapses quietly. He tells no one. The most painful part is not the failure. It is the private conversation that follows. You said this time would be different. He does not shout this at himself. It is softer than that. Almost disappointed. Almost tired. One Saturday afternoon, Hana runs toward him in the park. "Papa, race me," she says, already smiling. He laughs. "You'll beat me." "Try," she insists. He runs. For the first few seconds, he feels young. The air is cool. The grass is uneven beneath his shoes. Hannah is ahead, turning back to see if he is close. Halfway across the park, his chest tightens, his breath shortens. His legs feel heavy in a way that surprises him. He slows, then stops. Hannah stops too. She looks confused, not judgmental. Just confused. "You okay, Papa?" He forces a smile. "Of course, I let you win." She accepts this answer. Children often do, but he knows the truth. He was not letting her win. He simply could not keep up. They walk back together. She holds his hand. He feels both grateful and ashamed at the same time. That night, he lies awake longer than usual. His wife is asleep beside him. The apartment is quiet. He stares at the ceiling and replays the moment in the park. The look on Hannah's face was not cruel. It was innocent. That is what makes it heavy. He realizes something uncomfortable. He is not failing publicly. At work, he performs. With friends, he jokes. On social media, he posts normal photos. The failure is private. It lives in moments when no one is watching. And private failure weighs more because there is no applause to balance it. You might understand this. The hardest promises to keep are the ones no one else tracks. The promises to wake up earlier, to move your body, to stop at one drink, to be present. Kenji tells himself he will change soon. When work slows down, when the next project finishes, when life becomes less busy. Life does not slow down. The following week looks exactly like the last. Meetings, deadlines, fatigue, the refrigerator light at night, the quiet negotiation. What he does not yet know is that his transformation will not begin with effort. It will not begin with intensity. It will not begin with a dramatic declaration in front of his family. It will begin with perspective. And that perspective will arrive in a place he did not expect. A week after the afternoon in the park, Kenji sits in a quiet clinic room for a routine checkup. He almost cancelled the appointment. Work felt more urgent. It always does. But something about that moment with Hannah stayed with him, so he kept it. The doctor scrolls through his blood work results without visible alarm. No emergency, no dramatic warning, just numbers that lean in the wrong direction. "Your cholesterol is rising," the doctor says gently. "Your liver markers are slightly elevated. Nothing critical. But this is a direction. Direction, not disaster." Kenji nods. He expects a lecture. He braces himself for a strict diet plan, a demand for intense workouts, a warning that fear should push him into change. Instead, the doctor folds his hands and asks, "Tell me about your evenings." Kenji hesitates, then answers honestly. "I eat more than I should. I drink to relax. I try to change, but it doesn't last." The doctor does not sigh. He does not judge. He nods as if he has heard this story many times. "There is a Japanese principle called Kaizen," he says. Continuous small improvement. It has been practiced in Japan for decades in business and personal growth. The idea is simple. Do not change your whole life. Change 1 square meter of it. Kenji looks confused. 1 square meter? Yes. The doctor smiles. 1 small area you can control. He explains that research from Stanford on habit loops shows behavior follows a simple pattern. Cue, routine, reward. When people try to overhaul everything at once, they drain willpower quickly. It is not weakness, it is biology. The brain resists large disruptions. Big change feels powerful, the doctor continues, but small change is sustainable. Kenji feels a quiet relief. No dramatic speech, no shame, just a different approach. "So what do I do?" he asks. "After dinner," the doctor says. "Walk for 5 minutes." Kenji waits for more instructions. None come. That's it? He asks. That's it. No gym? No. No diet plan? Not yet. The doctor leans forward slightly. You are not trying to become a different person in 30 days. You are trying to become a person who keeps one small promise daily. 5 minutes is small enough that your mind will not fight you, but it is large enough to signal change. Kenji feels skeptical. 5 minutes sounds almost childish. He has failed at much bigger plans. How can something this small matter? The doctor senses the doubt. Most people think discipline is intensity, he says. But discipline is repetition. If you walk for 5 minutes every night for a month, you will not just burn calories, you will build identity. Identity. The word lingers. The doctor adds one more thing. I must do not increase it. Do not add anything. Protect the small habit. Make it boring. Make it automatic. Kenji leaves the clinic without a thick folder of instructions. No strict meal chart. No punishing schedule. Just one sentence repeating in his mind. Walk for 5 minutes after dinner. On the train home, he watches other commuters staring at their phones. He wonders how many of them are carrying the same quiet frustration, the same private disappointment. He feels something new, not motivation, not excitement, something steadier, permission. Permission to start small. Permission to stop fighting himself. Permission to try a system instead of force. That night, after dinner, he stands in the kitchen longer than usual. The old pattern whispers, "Skip it. You are tired. Tomorrow is better." He looks at the clock. 8:55 p.m. 5 minutes. And it feels almost insignificant. And yet, he senses that this small instruction might be the beginning of something larger than he understands. On the first night, Kenji does not announce anything. He does not tell his wife he is starting a new routine. He does not post about it. He does not change his clothes. He simply puts on his shoes after dinner and steps outside. The air is cool. The street is quiet. A few lights glow in neighboring apartments. He checks his watch. 5 minutes. He walks slowly around the block. No music, no podcast, just the sound of his own footsteps. At first, his mind feels restless. This is pointless, it says. You used to aim for 40-minute workouts. This is nothing. But he keeps walking. You may recognize this voice, the part of you that dismisses small effort because it does not feel impressive. The part that equates value with intensity. At the 4-minute mark, he feels almost embarrassed. 5 minutes is shorter than most television commercials. But when the timer ends, he turns back toward home. He did it. Not dramatically, not heroically, but completely. Day 2 feels slightly harder. Work was long. He considers skipping. Then he remembers the doctor's words. Protect the small habit. 5 minutes. Day 3, the resistance is quieter. The debate inside his head is shorter. He does not feel excited, he feels neutral, and neutral is new. By day 7, something subtle shifts. At 8:55 p.m., he stands up almost automatically. There is no negotiation, no internal speech, just movement. He begins to expect the walk the way he expects brushing his teeth. Research from Harvard on identity formation suggests that repeated small actions shape how we see ourselves before they change visible outcomes. Kenji does not know the study in detail, but he feels the effect. He does not feel thinner. He does not feel stronger. He feels reliable. For years, he described himself as someone who tries. Now, quietly, he is becoming someone who does. On day 10, Hana notices. "Papa, where are you going?" she asks. "For a short walk," he replies. "Can I come?" He hesitates for a second. The walk has felt private, but he nods. Of course. They step outside together. Hana talks the entire time, about school, about a drawing she made, about a friend who shared snacks. Kenji listens more carefully than he has in weeks. The 5 minutes pass quickly. On day 14, it happens again. She joins him without asking. The walk shifts in meaning. It is no longer only about health, it becomes about presence, about showing up at the same time every night, about predictability in a world that often feels rushed. He still keeps the agreement. 5 minutes. Even if Hannah is not there, even if it rains lightly, even if he feels tired. You might notice something here. The goal was not to transform his body in 2 weeks. The goal was to build a rhythm, a small, repeatable rhythm that does not depend on emotion. And as the days stack quietly, day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14, Kenji begins to ask himself a question he has not asked before. What else could be small enough to succeed? Not extreme, not impressive, just small. For the first time, change feels less like a battle and more like a pattern forming beneath the surface. He does not celebrate. So he does not reward himself with something dramatic. He simply laces his shoes again the next evening. And that quiet repetition is beginning to shape something deeper than he realizes. By the end of the first month, the 5-minute walk is no longer unusual. It has blended into the structure of Kenji's evenings. Dinner, dishes, shoes, street, return. At work, however, something else begins to shift. On a Thursday night, a few co-workers gather around a desk with fried snacks and canned drinks. It is informal, routine. Kenji usually joins without thinking. "Come on," one of them says, holding out a package. "You've been walking lately, right? Burning calories so you can eat more?" They laugh lightly. It is not cruel, just familiar teasing. Kenji smiles. "Maybe just one." He takes a piece, but he notices something different. He is aware. A month ago, he would have eaten without pause. Now he senses choice. He remembers something he read briefly after his appointment. A Japanese philosophy practiced in Okinawa for generations. Hara Hachibu. Eat until you are 80% full. Not stuffed, not restricted, simply aware. He does not announce this philosophy to his co-workers. He does not make a speech. He just stops before he feels heavy. That night at home, he tells his wife casually, "I'm trying something simple. Eating a little less, walking a little more." She nods. "It seems good for you." There is no applause, no dramatic support. And strangely, that makes it easier. But pressure does not disappear. It shifts form. One evening, as he ties his shoes, an old voice returns. 5 minutes is not enough. If you were serious, you would do 30. You would wake up at 5 in the morning. You would transform faster. You may know this voice, the one that demands visible progress, the one that confuses speed with commitment. Kenji stands still for a moment. He remembers the doctor's instruction. Change 1 square meter. He steps outside and walks his 5 minutes. He does not increase it. He does not punish himself for not doing more. He protects the habit by keeping it small. At work, the teasing continues occasionally. "Still on your health kick?" He shrugs. "Just walking." The simplicity disarms them. There is nothing extreme to mock, nothing dramatic to challenge. What Kenji begins to understand is that small habits survive because they do not threaten anyone, including yourself. Big declarations create expectations. Small routines create stability. By day 30, and his evenings feel steadier. He drinks less without forcing himself. Sometimes he replaces a second beer with water. He does not count. He does not measure obsessively. He simply pays attention. Still, a quiet doubt remains. Will this ever be enough? He looks at himself in the mirror some nights and sees only slight change. A small reduction in bloating. A bit more energy in the morning. Nothing dramatic. The old mindset whispers, "You need intensity. You need results faster." But something deeper is forming. He no longer debates whether he will walk. The decision is made before the thought appears. The pressure of appearances, at work, in the mirror, in his own mind, has not vanished. It has softened. And yet the real test of any system is not when life is calm. It is when something goes wrong. And something soon will. Our day 30 arrives quietly. No celebration, no announcement, just another work day. But this one is heavier. A major shipment is delayed. A client raises his voice on the phone. Emails stack faster than Kenji can answer them. By the time he leaves the office, his shoulders ache and his mind feels tight. On the train ride home, he stares at his reflection in the darkened window. He feels the old exhaustion creeping in, the kind that looks for relief, not discipline. Dinner is silent. He is distracted. Hana talks about a school project, but he only half listens. After the dishes are done, he looks at the clock. 8:55 p.m. The agreement. 5 minutes. He sits back down instead. Not tonight, he tells himself. You deserve a break. He opens a beer, then orders food he has not touched in weeks. The first bite feels comforting, familiar. Almost like returning home. You may recognize this moment. The logic is smooth. Just one night. Just a small reward. Just a pause. He goes to bed without walking. The next evening feels awkward. He considers walking, but something inside resists. The streak is broken. The clean record is gone. One night becomes two. Two becomes three. On the third evening, as he reaches for the refrigerator handle, Hana looks up from the couch. Papa, aren't we walking tonight? Her voice is not accusing, just curious. The question lands heavier than any lab result. He realizes something. The walk was never only about him. It had quietly become part of their rhythm, part of her expectation of him. He feels exposed, not in front of the world, in front of the one person he wanted to grow stronger for. For a moment, he considers abandoning it completely. The familiar thought returns. You failed. This is how it always ends. But then another memory surfaces. The doctor once mentioned another Japanese method, kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. In that philosophy, cracks are not hidden. They are highlighted. The repair becomes part of the object's history. Imperfection is not erased. It is integrated. Kenji stands slowly. He does not make a speech. He does not apologize dramatically. Let's go, he says. Hana smiles and puts on her shoes. The first few steps feel uncomfortable. He is aware of the missed nights. A part of him wants to pretend they did not happen, but he does not. As they walk, he speaks quietly. I skipped a few days, he says. That's okay. Hana replies, we're walking now. Her answer is simple. Children understand something adults often forget. Our return matters more than perfection. You didn't fail, you stumbled. The 5 minutes feel different that night. Not triumphant, not heroic. Honest. He understands something important. The goal was never to protect a streak. It was to protect the habit. A streak is fragile. A system allows for repair. When they return home, he feels steadier than he did during the perfect first month, because now he has proof that the system survives imperfection. The relapse did not destroy the habit. It tested it, and the habit remained. As he turns off the lights that night, he senses that this moment, this return, may be more important than the first 30 days combined. Because discipline is not proven when everything goes right, it is proven when you come back after it goes wrong, and this return is changing him in a way he cannot yet fully see. And after the stumble, something subtle changes. Kenji no longer sees the walk as a fragile streak that must remain perfect. He sees it as part of who he is becoming. The difference is small, but powerful. By month 2, the 5-minute walk often stretches naturally into 7 or 8 minutes, sometimes even 10. Not because he forces it, not because he feels guilty, but because once he is outside, moving feels easier than returning immediately. He still honors the original agreement. 5 minutes is the rule. Anything beyond that is optional. This is important. When habits grow by choice instead of pressure, they feel expansive rather than heavy. Around this time, he reads briefly about neuroplasticity, a short article referencing MIT research explaining how consistent, repeated behaviors strengthen neural pathways over time. The brain adapts to what is practiced regularly. Identity is not declared, it is rehearsed. Kenji does not become obsessed with the science. He simply notices something inside himself. At 8:55 p.m., he no longer negotiates. There is no internal debate. He stands, he walks, the action happens before the thought. You may understand how rare this feels, to act without arguing with yourself, to move without convincing yourself. This is not excitement, it is alignment. At dinner, he begins drinking a glass of water before opening a beer. Sometimes, after the water, he does not feel the same urge for alcohol. On weekdays, he starts skipping it entirely. No announcement, no dramatic vow. Just quiet adjustments. His wife notices. "You seem calmer lately," she says one evening. "Maybe I'm just walking," he replies. But he knows it is more than that. Language begins to shift too. In the past, he would say, "I'm trying to be healthier." Now, when a co-worker jokes about his routine, he says, "I walk every night." The sentence is small, but it feels different. One is an attempt, the other is an identity. Research on behavior change often points to this transition. When you see yourself as the kind of person who performs an action, consistency follows more naturally. Identity sustains behavior more reliably than motivation ever could. By month 3, the physical changes become noticeable. His face looks slightly leaner. His energy in the morning feels steadier. He wakes up without the same fog. But the deeper shift is internal. He trusts himself more. Trust grows not from perfection, but from repeated returns, from keeping small promises over and over. He still has stressful days. He still feels tired. He still occasionally wants to skip the walk. The difference is that skipping no longer feels like freedom. It feels misaligned. This is how identity forms quietly, not through dramatic declarations, through repetition. Yet something deeper begins to surface. The habit is stable, the routine is solid. But a question emerges during one of his evening walks. Why am I really doing this? Health is one answer, energy is another. But those feel incomplete. Discipline without meaning can become mechanical, stable, but hollow. As Hana walks beside him one evening, swinging her arms, he senses that the true transformation may not be about body or stamina. It may be about purpose. And that realization is about to reshape everything again. One evening, as they walk their usual route, Hana looks up at him and asks a simple question. "Papa, why did you start walking?" He pauses. In the beginning, the answer would have been about cholesterol, about lab results, about feeling embarrassed in the park. But now, the answer feels different. "I wanted to be stronger," he says carefully, "so I can run with you longer." She nods as if this makes perfect sense. For her, it does. That night, after she falls asleep, Kenji searches for something he remembers hearing years ago. Ikigai. A Japanese concept often translated as reason for being. A Japanese philosophy used for centuries to connect daily action with deeper meaning. He reads quietly at the kitchen table. Ikigai is not about grand ambition. It is not about fame or achievement. It is about alignment, what you love, what you are responsible for. What gives your days direction? Kenji reflects on his own life. He is not trying to become extraordinary. He is trying to become present. capable, available. His ikigai is simple: to be there, to be steady for his family, to walk beside his daughter without gasping for breath, to age without regret over avoidable neglect. You may discover something similar when you look honestly at your own habits. Often, the struggle is not about food or exercise. It is about connection, about wanting to show up fully in the roles that matter. The next evening, the walk feels different. Not longer, not faster, more intentional. Hana talks about a math problem she solved. He listens without checking his phone. He feels the rhythm of his steps, the steady air in his lungs. The scale at home has moved slightly over the past weeks. But the numbers matter less now. The internal measure has changed faster than the external one. He realizes something quietly powerful. The battle was never against food. It was against disconnection. When he ate late at night, he was not hungry for calories. He was hungry for relief, for pause, for a sense of control. The walk has given him something else instead. A predictable moment of presence, a small daily proof that he can choose alignment over impulse. This is how Japanese systems often work. They do not demand intensity. They build harmony between action and identity. Ikigai does not require a dramatic career shift or life overhaul. Sometimes it begins with a 5-minute walk and a child's question. At month 4, Kenji feels steadier in conversations. He interrupts less. He laughs more easily. And he does not think about these changes directly. They emerge naturally from a body that feels less heavy and a mind that feels less conflicted. His wife notices too. "You seem more here," she says one night. He smiles. "I'm trying to be." But he knows it is not just trying anymore, it is becoming. The system that began as a medical suggestion has become a framework for meaning. The small square meter he changed has influenced the entire room, and as the months continue to stack quietly, he begins to sense something surprising. The inner war that once felt loud is now softer, not gone, but manageable, and that softness is about to be tested by time itself. Month 6 arrives without ceremony. There is no dramatic milestone, no public announcement, just another ordinary Tuesday. Kenji sits once again in the clinic room for a follow-up appointment. The same chair, the same quiet hum of fluorescent lights. The doctor scrolls through updated lab results and nods. "Improved," he says simply. "Not perfect, but moving in the right direction." Direction, the same word from 6 months earlier, but now it feels earned. Kenji thanks him and leaves without celebration. He does not feel triumphant. He feels steady. At home, his routine continues. Dinner, dishes, shoes, street. The 5-minute rule still exists. It has never been abandoned. Some nights he walks 12 minutes, some nights exactly 5. The agreement remains intact. What has changed is the silence inside his mind. 6 months ago, 8:55 p.m. meant negotiation. Now it means movement. He stands without internal debate. There is no argument to win, and no voice to silence. The action precedes the thought. You may understand how rare that feels, to act without convincing yourself, to follow through without emotional fuel. This is what quiet strength looks like. One evening, as he walks alone, he remembers a line often attributed to Sun Tzu. "The greatest victories are those won before the battle begins." He understands this differently now. The battle is not fought at midnight in front of the refrigerator. It is won at 8:55 p.m. when he ties his shoes without discussion. The war is decided before temptation has a chance to argue. This is the Japanese principle he did not see at first. Small, consistent actions reduce the need for heroic discipline. He notices other shifts too. He sleeps more deeply. He wakes with less heaviness. He laughs more easily when Hana tells a story. In his patience at work improves. Even during stressful days, he does not feel pulled as strongly toward late-night escape. The internal war has softened. It has not disappeared entirely. There are still moments when stress whispers, but the system stands between impulse and action. You may find this surprising. Discipline has become gentle, not because he forced himself harder, but because he reduced the size of the promise until it became automatic. One night, Hana runs ahead again in the park. "Race you!" she shouts. He runs. This time he keeps up longer. Not perfectly, not like an athlete, but longer. He feels his lungs expand steadily instead of collapsing in panic. He feels capable. He does not think, "I am disciplined." He thinks, "I kept walking." 6 months ago, he believed transformation required intensity. Now he understands it requires repetition. There were no dramatic sacrifices, no extreme diets, no loud declarations, just 5 minutes. Repeated. As he walks home, he wonders what 1 year will look like if he continues exactly this way. No sudden upgrades, no pressure to accelerate, just consistency. The idea feels almost radical in its simplicity. What if nothing dramatic changes? What if he simply keeps his word? That question stays with him as the seasons begin to shift. Because true change does not arrive with fireworks. It arrives quietly, and it stays. 1 year passes without drama. There is no before and after photo taped to the refrigerator. No public declaration. No viral transformation story. If you looked at Kenji from the outside, you would see a man slightly leaner, slightly stronger, slightly calmer. But inside, and something far more important has shifted. He trusts himself. On a bright afternoon, Hana runs ahead in the park again. "Papa, race me!" she calls. He smiles and runs after her. His steps are steady. His breathing is controlled. He does not stop halfway. He does not pretend to let her win. When he slows, it is by choice, not exhaustion. They laugh together at the finish. That moment is not about speed. It is about presence. Over the year, the 5-minute rule remained intact. Some weeks were imperfect. There were missed nights, busy seasons, family gatherings with heavy meals, occasional drinks that turned into 2, but something never disappeared. He always returned the next evening. The ancient Japanese system he learned did not demand heroism. It did not punish him for imperfection. It simply asked for consistency and return. And he understands now what he once misunderstood about inner war. He believed discipline meant fighting himself, forcing himself, conquering his impulses with intensity. But the quiet truth is this: systems reduce the need for war. By keeping the promise small, he avoided overwhelming resistance. By allowing relapse without quitting, he avoided shame. By attaching the habit to meaning, his ikigai, he avoided emptiness. You may recognize something in this. The inner battle you feel is often not about weakness. It is about structure. Without a system, every decision becomes a fight. With a system, most decisions disappear. Kenji no longer describes himself as someone trying to change. He is a man who walks every night. That identity was not declared. It was accumulated. He still lives an ordinary life. He still works at the same office. And he still feels stress. But the difference is subtle and powerful. He keeps his word to himself. And that single shift has changed the tone of his entire life. The inner war that once felt loud is now quiet. Not because temptation vanished, but because the system stands steady beneath him. And systems, when practiced gently and consistently, outlast emotion every time. If this story felt familiar, subscribe and turn on notifications so you continue learning systems that build quiet, lasting strength. These stories are not about hype. They are about structure. And structure changes lives slowly and permanently. Like this video if you believe small actions deserve respect. And in the comments, write one small action you will take tomorrow night. Not something dramatic, not something impressive. Just one clear, repeatable step. 5 minutes of walking. 1 glass of water before bed. 1 page of reading. Choose something you can keep even on your worst day. Let it be small enough to protect. Let it be simple enough to repeat. Return matters more than perfection. Start tomorrow. Keep it quiet. Keep it consistent.